Well, hey there, YouTube. I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. How are you all doing out there this weekend? Hope you're having a little bit of fun. I'm just having a super lazy day here. It's been cloudy and gray most of the day. The sun's coming out now as the little cold front's passing through. We go back to having cooler temperatures tonight, which you know I love. And yeah, other than that, it's just a nice, relaxing weekend leading into a holiday week here in the States, Thanksgiving, which I'm not really doing anything for. But hey, God bless. Have a fun time if you are. Today, we're going to talk about inhale peace, exhale worry, and it's a tool for dealing with fear and anxiety. Guys, if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I'd really appreciate if you go down and hit that red subscribe button and come back and check out a little bit more of my content. Maybe share one of my videos from time to time. Yeah, I just wanted to share this one today. Wasn't real sure what I was going to do today. And then yesterday I'm like, well, you know what? I've been working on this a bit myself lately and using this tool myself. Like I've told you guys, it's not all hunky-dory all the time for me. I just, I kind of take things as they come. I've dealt with a fair amount of anxiety this year, actually within the last year and a half myself. And, it's basically you just tool on through. It's you can either break down and whine and moan and oh my God, the sky is falling, or you can just develop little tools and practices to deal with it. So I'm always kind of reading more on this, and but I try to keep it simple too. And I'm going to actually start doing more with this in 2020. I'm going to start having more regular talks on meditation, breathing, stress relief, anxiety relief for beginners. Just the simplest of stuff. It's not going to be convoluted, and I'm not an expert, but I want to share this a little bit more because it helps me a lot. Got a few places I'm going to read, and I'll share my thoughts as we go along. First of all, here's a good one I like, and it started with a quote by one of my favorites, Thich Nhat Hanh, although this article's not by him. Why do we focus on the breath? It's by a gentleman named Charlie Ambler on a Medium Corporation. And the quote is, the process of healing begins when we mindfully breathe in, Thich Nhat Hanh. Breathing is the connecting link between the conscious and the subconscious, between body and mind. In fact, the ability to control our body and mind and to change our lives, our karma, depends upon this breathing. One must concentrate on the breathing, or more specifically upon the out-breath. All schools of Buddhism agree that anapanasati, mindfulness of our breathing, was the Buddha Shakyamuni's first teaching. Taisen Desimaru. That's a mouthful of names there. Zen teachers often compare the breath during meditation to an anchor. The breath is the force of life. When we force it or stifle it, it impacts our well-being. When we mindfully let ourselves breathe, we feel natural in our practice. We let the breath come in and out with grace, and it serves as our anchor. It prevents us from getting lost in both meditation and daily life. As we breathe in and out during meditation, thoughts also come in and out. Even the most seasoned meditators can be bombarded by countless thoughts as they sit. The human mind is always working. That is why it's so important to take time each day to let it sort itself out in silence. The skill of our practice is letting go of intrusive thoughts without forcing them away or judging them. This is a nuanced process and takes some time to settle into. Still, each time we sit, we express our true selves by following the consistency of our natural breathing. If you need to kind of mentally block that word meditation out because it just intimidates some people, it has a connotation for some people, and it seems to be this big thing that you need to do. So if you need to block out the word meditation and just think of it as simply inhaling and exhaling, something that simple, then do it. When you dwell on a thought, it's like holding in the breath. When you hold your breath for a long time, you become more and more tense until the lack of fresh oxygen in your lungs takes you over. You become stifled and red in the face and have to exhale. Otherwise, you pass out. Thoughts are the same way. When we hold on to them and expand on them, they drown us and propel us into further delusion. We are suffocated by our own thoughts day after day. When we let our thoughts come and go with the breath during meditation, we learn how to let go in everyday life. This is why meditation is the heart of Zen practice and why focusing on the breath is the heart of meditation. We're not trying to breathe in one specific way, to count the breaths, or even to control them. We're simply becoming mindful of our natural breathing and letting it guide us into a state beyond thoughts. This is the choice we make during meditation, to resist or persist. When we persist, all things become clear and thoughts fade away. When we resist, we just experience more suffering and clinging to the thoughts that come about. That's what I've dealt with the various anxiety that I have. When I just hold on to those thoughts, when I keep going, what if, well, what if this happens? What if that? When I come back to that breath, I can tell the change in how I feel and in how my brain is processing this. Sometimes the breath changes in accordance with our state while meditating. Sometimes we grab onto thoughts and can't help but get caught up in them. This can cause stress and tension in the breathing. Sometimes we really get into a state of pure consciousness and thoughts cease bothering us. In Zen, this is called shikantaza, or just sitting. When we just sit, the breath often slows down in accordance with our state of calm reflection. Meditation teaches us that mind and body are not separate. They are one and the same. All of your responses, mental and physical, stem from the same consciousness and the same breath. The mind and body are not separate. If you think about that before, when you're fearful. Think back to when you've been in fear, when you've had some sort of a fear. How are you breathing? You're usually breathing rapidly and shallowly. Sometimes you can get rid of that fear and also stress or whatever just simply by being aware of that breath and slowing the breath down. As we slow the breath down, we almost find it impossible to have these feelings. Got another article I had marked here. I've just got a couple of pieces from smaller articles. Exhale Worry, Inhale Peace by Siri Kiran Kaur. I exhale worry and inhale peace. I release tension and accept tranquility. I breathe out fear and breathe in courage. I let go of all anger and welcome love. I release sadness and receive joy. Here's a quote by Yogi Bhagan. In your day, give 1 minute to peace. Sit down and just relax. Feel peaceful inside and give a prayer to honor those who work for peace and for the tranquility of all mankind. Let us honor ourselves. Let us recognize our inner peace. Pray deeply for your inner peace and for the entire mankind. That's perfect right there in your day. Give 1 minute. That's what I'm saying about the meditation and not getting overwhelmed by that big word of meditation. It can just be 1 minute a day. It can be just taking little breaks throughout the day. Just be awareness. It's just simple awareness. The world is crazed due to anxiety and fear of future possibilities. People do and say things that are unkind and hurtful to one another. How can an individual help in these times? Imagine giving more than a minute for a prayer for peace. Find the quiet within. The light from one moment beams out into the universe. The energy of peace and harmony escapes through the cracks of disharmony. Sit down, as Yogi Bhagan suggests, in the early morning or any time and align with the breath. From the soul's perspective, we all have a direct connection and relationship with every soul on the planet. The deeper and clearer our inner awareness is, the deeper and clearer our connection to all of humanity. This is how, in our own small way, we can have a real effect on the world. We can maximize this connection through service, spiritual practice, and sharing experiences with like-minded people. That's a quote from Deepak Chakra. And I had one more here. Just a little thought here. This is just a little quick one from this one. I won't even mention the article because it's just like one passage. Recent studies show we have between 60,000 and 80,000 thoughts per day. That's almost a thought every second, and they will continue to stream in for as long as you live. So what can we do to slow down the distractions, step through the fog, take back our mind, and reclaim clarity? The answer rests inside. We have the ability in any moment to stop the swirl, reconnect to the calm that lies deep within, and step into the next moment with greater creativity, intuition, and ease. And all we have to do is breathe. All we have to do is breathe. I had a little bit of this last night. I woke up about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was having some anxiety thinking about some what ifs, some things in the future, some possible scenarios down the road. And for me, it's weird. My anxiety tends to come at night when I'm not quiet in my full, when I'm not at 100%. I have to work a little harder. During the day, when I'm wide awake and going, it would be so much easier. But at night, I'm kind of a little foggy, and I have to think for a minute until I take hold of things. And I do this. I do this at night when I'm feeling this anxiety in bed. That's why I titled it "A Tool for Dealing with Fear and Anxiety." It is a tool, and it's a tool we can access anywhere, and it doesn't have to be, like I say, some big production. You just simply breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. And when we go in, like when I hit that breath, and when I'm doing that, and when I'm really just nothing but the breath, and once again, it's not about counting the breath, forcing the breath, or anything else. We're just aware we're breathing in, we're aware we're breathing out. And we can use little mind tricks, like we say, we're inhaling peace. When we inhale, we're inhaling peace and tranquility. When we exhale, we're exhaling stress and worry. And we can do this all the time. And that brings me, for me personally, that brings me back to the current moment. And I remember this exact thought having last night going through my head. In this moment, there's no trouble. All the things that I'm anxious about are potential outcomes in the future, potential things that could happen. My imagination, really, something that has not happened, and something that I have control over and have plenty of time before it would even possibly happen. So it's just as simple as that. And usually within just a few minutes of just laying there, closing my eyes, breathing in and out, and doing this, I'm good. I've done, I do it. Sometimes I'll do it in traffic. Although in traffic, I'm in the car by myself. I don't really have a problem just like screaming a little bit in traffic, because I'm not screaming at the person. Nobody else sees me but me, and I feel a little better. But that's probably not as good a way of dealing with things as just, kind of breathing in, and just, we get clarity with the breath. I just really implore any of you people that watch me to try some of this stuff. Read some of the resources I've mentioned in the past, because it's a very powerful practice that you don't have to read a ton about, put a lot of time into. You could go on Google for 15 minutes today, tomorrow, whatever, and figure and learn a little bit more about this. And it's so powerful, and it's, like I say, it saves me a lot of the time. It saves me from a lot of anxiety. That, in other words, like it stops the anxiety. I feel myself going down this road, and I'm getting a little bit more anxious, a little bit more anxious, a little bit more anxious, and I know that's going to snowball. And I know the thoughts are just going, well, what if this? What if that? Oh, well, God, blah, blah, blah. Get into that breath, and I just, I seem to be able to take control. Or not take control, but just, like I say, just come back to the present moment where none of this stuff has happened yet. But anyhow, I'm just starting to ramble a little bit. But if you like it, give me a thumbs up, and I will see you again real soon. Peace.